Vici wins, Cloud9 wins, Fnatic wins, everybody wins! Except for fighting game fans who own an Xbox One. We'll explain why and break down the week in esports news. I'm John Reisinger. Joining me as always are Meg Turney and the Daily Dot's Jared Wynne. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Here's what you need to know.
I like that the beginning of your script is like you're drunk. Fnatic wins, Vici wins, everybody wins. The second edition of the Summit was held over the weekend. The tournament featured 6 of the world's best teams gathered from around the world to compete in one gaming house. There were no big stages or arena crowds, just rooms packed full of computer equipment and professional gamers. So pure. Chinese team Vici Gaming ultimately proved victorious, defeating Cloud9 in the final. Jared, was this a surprise?
It was the purest expression of Dota 2 playing.
Right? Just cut away all the fat.
Just some dudes in a house playing Dota 2. It gets kind of hot, it gets kind of bothered. You know, there's just good, hard Dota 2 action in that house, and I really appreciated watching it myself. So yeah, Vici Gaming, they played quite well. They're maybe the best team in the world today. They won ESL New York last time they were here. Now they come over and win the Summit too. They're just winning all this stuff when they come over here. Very nice performance by them. Not a big surprise. It was not that long ago, as you guys know, when Black, their German star, was thought to be a poor addition to the team because he's not Chinese, he's not even Asian.
Rude.
He's going to have communication problems with the team. Maybe he's not up to par, you know, but he's proven himself very well. The team has proven itself out, play very well. Ice is also there from outside China. So I like Vici Gaming quite a bit. EG was disappointing here, actually. They had a rough turn in the first day, but then they came back and beat Vici in group play the second day, which I think just shows that even if Vici Gaming is the best team today, which they probably are, there's a lot of parity at the top of the scene. EG is a good contender for the top spot. Cloud9, who finished as runners-up here and are now establishing a reputation as being runners-up, actually, are a very good team. Secret Team, also very good. There's a number of great teams out there. Newbies still lurking around. Over in China. They're not traveling around as much. Yeah.
They had, I mean, you hit the top. Oh, sorry.
You hit the mic.
You hit the mic. You hit the top. It's a little hard to keep going. We talked about that when they won.
We did, but they've done pretty well. They haven't traveled as much as Vici Gaming has. We haven't seen a lot of travel at all, actually, from the top Chinese teams. That's kind of been, they've been like just lurking in general. General lurking going on over there.
A lot of lurking in these teams.
But Vici is not lurking.
They're not lurking.
They've been going out and playing tournaments and doing stuff outside of Asia.
Out in the open, in the light.
Yeah, so we can all see them in prime time, under the lights, or in a house with other sweaty gamers.
Yep,
So
sweaty gamers.
Why no crowds? Like, why in a house? Is it like particular to this tournament, or
it's just like a special theme here? Instead of having the players in front of a big stage in an arena or a big crowd or whatever, we're going to put them in a bedroom so they can play like a practice, which is just a different kind of thing. And it's much more intimate, like a broadcast, so you have the players doing the actual commentary themselves. Not while they're playing a game, but when other teams are playing a game.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a different look.
That's really cool. I like that. It's like when they do awesome, like when they do awesome games live, and one person's speedrunning, the other person is kind of walking it through.
Yeah, kind of like that. You have the big communal couch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but without as many creepy people. Not that there's creepy people.
Guess what? It's going on the air.
I love HDQ, by the way.
No,
I really do. I love watching HDQ.
All right, now it is in other Dota 2 news. Major League Gaming has announced that they'll be hosting a new league for the game next year. The competition will be a collaboration with community group Join Dota and is already set to offer $500,000 in prizes in addition to full travel for competitors. Jared, is it a surprise to see MLG getting involved with this?
It kind of is, because in the past, MLG has been wanting to really control the games they're working with. So Call of Duty is big in MLG, largely because they have a very close working relationship with Activision, so they can kind of control how Call of Duty is played.
What do you mean control how the game's played?
Well, they're the only game in town, basically. All the big Call of Duty pros play on MLG's streaming platform, for example.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All the big matches in Call of Duty are played on MLG. It's just, that's how it works. And MLG has liked at times in the past to control the competitive scene of the games they're involved with, but now we see them getting into Dota 2. We see them getting involved in Counter-Strike. X Games and Aspen is going to have a Counter-Strike tournament that MLG is hosting. So they're putting their hands in some more pots. I think they're starting to realize that just because they don't have control of games like Valve's games, and they're not going to have any control of Valve's games, Dota 2 and Counter-Strike, doesn't mean there's not money to be made for them there. Because as these games get bigger, as Valve puts money into them, supports them, you know, it makes sense for MLG to get involved in that and have a piece of that pie.
I know I've seen a lot of drama with Call of Duty players who feel like MLG, like they can't stream on other services and they feel kind of like bullied or like, not bullied, but like boxed in by MLG. Do you think that because they're getting into games they can't control, they may relax on their Call of Duty players a little bit and allow them to do different stuff? Or do you think it'll just always be that way?
Absolutely not. If they can impose themselves, if they can impose themselves like that on anybody, they're going to do it because it's in the best interest of them as a company.
Yeah.
Call of Duty players have no options but to play under MLG. Counter-Strike players, Dota 2 players have many, many options. They don't need MLG. They'll welcome MLG's money, certainly, but they don't need to follow MLG's restricted or free agency rules. And MLG's not running leagues that exist like it was your only professional avenue, as it does for Call of Duty. So it's a completely different thing, and it's not going to change the fact that the Call of Duty
there's
players,
no reason as a business for them to relax on their Call of Duty.
No, they will continue to be oppressed, and we'll see more angry tweets from
Lots of
apes.
tweets, yes. That's what comes out of it. There's lots of tweets.
Angry oppression tweets from Call of Duty players.
Yeah, like Aches. Shout out to Aches.
Oh, on his hand. Hope he feels better.
Hope your hand's doing better. Hope it doesn't explode.
You know what? Someone in the comments said that he was getting frisky with his lady. And I want to know how you cut your hand doing that.
I also heard that he got in a drunk fight and like someone broke a bottle and the shard.
See, that makes
ripped
a
his
lot
hand
more
open.
sense than
Maybe he was having
somehow I was getting frisky with my lady.
Maybe he was getting frisky and then got in a drunk fight while getting frisky.
Like you do.
Like you do. And hey, I don't judge.
I wish you would just say, like, if you're going to post a picture of your injury, let me know what happened.
But then we might not talk about it on the
That's
leaderboard.
very
and he
true.
loses out on the fame and prestige that comes with our discussion here.
So much fame and prestige.
Yeah.
You did it. You did it, Aches. The Intel Extreme Masters Series visited San Jose, California this weekend. The StarCraft 2 tournament was won by Kim Hero Junho, while the League of Legends competition came down to an unexpected final that pitted Cloud9 against the best-named team in the world, Unicorns of Love. In spite of their valiant run to the final, the Unicorns weren't able to put up much of a fight against Cloud9, who stabbed them in their unicorn hearts with their own unicorn horns in a clean sweep. What happened?
What happened? Yeah.
What happened?
They got beat. Well, like unicorn horn style.
Yeah, we got that kind of image.
Yeah, I don't actually think they were the second best team here. I think Alliance probably was, but Alliance lost to Cloud9 in the semifinal, and then Cloud9 beat Unicorns of Love dramatically in the final. So if the seeding had been a little bit different, we probably would not have seen Unicorns of Love make the final. Sorry to Unicorns of Love fans. We don't want to hear that. Cloud9 is just in kind of a boring way the best team in the West, like by a good margin. They get objectives more tightly than you do. They get little advantages and they string those out over time and then they win. That's just kind of expected. We saw Team Solo Mid beat them in the LCF playoffs, the last LCF playoff season. And we thought maybe this is going to be a breakthrough. Other teams are going to catch up to Cloud9 outside of Asia. Maybe not so much because they're still doing the same thing. Alliance put up a good fight, but even they could not overcome the stodgy resilience of Cloud9. Yeah, and Cloud9's not boring. Like we know what's going to happen with Cloud9. They're going to play this game that they have, and it works for them, obviously. And Unicorns of Love had no answer for it at all. None. Zero.
Do you think that eventually teams will be able to answer, or do you think it's going to continue to be pretty dominant for them?
Well, they better. Team Solo Mid did beat them in the final of the playoffs last LCS. So, I mean, yeah, teams are going to catch up to some degree, but at the same time, Cloud9 can continue to improve. So it's up to other teams to adapt to that style. And they need to, because that style is what's going to get it done on the big stage, the international stage. It's no surprise that Cloud9 is probably the most successful team from the West at these big events right now, because they play a style that translates best to it.
Okay.
Do you think if you have a name like Unicorns of Love, you can't get swept, right? Like, you got to be like the best team out there to have a name as ridiculous as Unicorns of Love.
Well, they beat TSM.
All right.
Yeah, so I guess what you're saying is TSM is so bad it doesn't matter if you beat them?
No, not at all.
Because TSM has a lot of fans,
I get
so
that
if you're going to say
upset
that...
AGDQ and all of the awesome games done quick people,
Actually,
and you're trying to put it on me right now?
I want to make it clear,
but-
I have actually donated in the past. I don't know about Meg and John here.
Suddenly we're all donating.
I have donated in the past to the.
Let's go toe to toe. I also have.
I have, yeah.
What?
Well, I have.
What?
Oh, so what we're saying is John is the only person here who
Yeah,
hasn't.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah.
can get on this train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You're the
Yeah.
worst.
I am.
You know, he doesn't think esports players are athletes either.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just-
Except for all the comments supported you.
Did they?
What the fuck, guys?
Yeah.
Come on.
They totally did.
Yeah.
Backfired on us.
The latest ESEA Global Final took place this weekend in Dallas. 4 teams from North America battled 4 European teams to determine a champion, and it was a familiar name who wound up winning the title, Fnatic, who have been at the center of multiple recent controversies in the Counter-Strike world. They have multiple players under suspicion of cheating, and they forfeited at their last event, but that didn't stop them from winning here. Jared, what's the reaction from Fnatic winning? I mean, they're like possible cheaters, just continue to win.
Well, it depends on where you're from. If you're from Sweden, it's like, hey, my heroes, they did it. They defended their honor. You know, if you're from anywhere else, it's kind of like,
Right.
You scratch your beard or your imaginary beard if you don't have one.
Your Zangief beard.
Yeah.
Like how do they, like, if they're on suspicion of cheating, how is that not resolved before they just continue to go ahead and keep winning?
Well, the question is, what do you do? Do you just say, you know what, I think you guys did cheat. You're banned from everything. it's hard to do that because they haven't been caught doing anything.
They haven't been caught like
it's just been suspicious. Okay,
it's extremely suspicious, and like some of the clips put together for some players, especially Flusha, are like inexplicable, really. But at the same time, I can't sit here and say for sure that anyone has done anything illegal. I can't say that 100% for sure. I can feel pretty confident about it, but you can't say it for sure. So, and the players are good. Like these players are they're not bad unless they cheat.
Yeah.
Even if they have cheated in the past, it doesn't change the fact they're still world-class players.
Yeah.
That's part of why it's so difficult to know when someone is actually doing something like this, because they're still really good without taking that extra advantage. And they prove that here. Maybe they did cheat during the event. If they didn't, though, then it's a great showing by them. They beat some of the best teams in the world to win the title. So it's just a weird thing. It's kind of a cloud that hangs over now all of the best Counter-Strike tournaments, and I think will for a while, because we don't know how clean things really are. When the players got banned by Valve, Kaylee, SF, that was just one type of cheat. So other people could have been using a different type of cheat at the same time and just not gotten caught doing it. Most likely. We still don't know all the specifics because Valve won't say anything about it. They're very secretive, very hush-hush. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know, basically. It's a lot of conjecture, and it's unfortunate because it creates discussion like this in place of discussion of, who won and why.
It almost kind of places like an asterisk on any competitions that they play and win for a while until either people forget or it's proven otherwise.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole steroids thing in baseball. Someone gets caught and then everyone's under suspicion, whether you are liable or not.
Yeah.
Well, and there were a lot of discussion in the comments of last week's leaderboard about the particular tournament that LDLC and Fnatic were in, when we were talking about Fnatic using this pixel that they weren't supposed to use, but then people said LDLC came back and also used some sort of cheat. And so it seems like everybody, there doesn't seem to be like one team, everybody's like, yep, definitely cheaters. It's like everybody is like, well, they also did something and maybe you did something. It just seems super like everybody's very jumpy about it at this point.
Everyone is under suspicion, although Fnatic is under by far the heaviest suspicion. It's like if everyone else has a cloud over them, Fnatic has like a hurricane over them. Yeah, with wind and rain and earth and water and fire and heart.
Did somebody have a little monkey?
I don't know what the exit strategy of that joke was.
Could you see the panic in his eyes? I don't think he did either.
I don't have an exit strategy for my jokes.
I think we've learned that. Finally, Capcom has announced the next edition of its venerable Street Fighter series. It's on the way. Street Fighter V will be released on the PC and a console. That's a console, singular, because it will be exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Cross-platform play between the PC and PlayStation 4 will be supported, but it isn't likely that that will comfort any Xbox One owners. Jared, this was kind of a dramatic unfolding of this announcement, quote unquote, because they posted their own trailer and then they started taking people's videos down, and then they were like, just kidding, it's also announced. This was kind of crazy.
You see it like you have some kind of personal stake here.
Not at all. No personal stake. Just I witnessed the craziness.
Oh, very closely?
Maybe.
You're a close witness?
How close did you witness the craziness?
Yeah, how closely was this witnessed by you?
My eyebrows were singed by the closeness of this
It was
craziness.
hot craziness?
Apparently craziness involves fire.
It was flames on my face.
The craziness was just all over your face.
It was, well, now we're taking it to a place. But
The flames.
yes, the flames.
The flames were just, they overcame you.
They did. But it was kind of crazy. Everybody knew, and then it was like there was no surprise at the PlayStation experience.
So now it's only kind of crazy, but before it singed your eyebrows off?
So crazy.
What are we going to do? Okay.
So crazy.
Yeah, so it could have a negative. I mean, tournament organizers are going to use PlayStation 4s, obviously, instead of Xbox Ones. That settles that. It's kind of a funny thing because Killer Instinct is exclusive to the Xbox.
Right.
So now you have Street Fighter V exclusive to the PlayStation. For anyone wondering how it's going to turn out, advantage PlayStation in that little divide there. Killer Instinct is a fun game. I like it. I've talked to the guy who developed it. He's a nice guy. Great. Thumbs up. Street Fighter like blows it out of the water in terms of popularity, especially a brand new Street Fighter game, like an entirely new addition in the series. It's going to do good numbers, most likely.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that change. Beyond that, it doesn't change a lot competitively. It just means that people who are really interested in playing Street Fighter are going to play it on the PS4 or on the PC, actually. I think we're going to see a lot of players on the PC, especially now that we have cross-platform play, which is a cool thing. We should have had it before.
Did you see Phil Spencer came back and he was like, yeah, we don't care about Street Fighter because we already have our own fighting game. And I was like, oh, Spence, baby. Killer Instinct is not enough to take down Street Fighter.
We got our own, and it's just kind of sitting back there.
It's there, though, if you guys want it. It's in the back. Just in case you're interested.
It's like a giant 18-wheeler drives by and you're like, I got my Beetle. Whatever.
I don't need that.
Yeah. It's a good comparison, right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel more educated now?
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like comparing, kind of craziness to
Right,
like
flames on
flames
their face.
craziness.
But then you scale it back again.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta scale
For
it
the
back.
sake of the show.
You don't
Just a
want
match.
to lose your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awful. These are fake. That's it for the leaderboard this week. Join Meg and Ashley. That's me. For the Know-It-All on Friday on the Rooster Teeth channel, where we bring you the biggest news in one of the week in one shot. I almost had it.
In the meantime, for more gaming and entertainment news, make sure you click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for more from the leaderboard. GG, everyone. I just saw dancing to my left, and I just...